Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the mystery storytelling podcast with a clairvoyant twist. We end every episode with Darcy answering a question from a listener about her psychic process. Okay, if you got time just quickly for a listener's question?
Sure.
Okay, cool. This question is from Louise. She wants to know, are there people you cannot read?
Yeah. I have met people that I cannot read. They're either really terrified or they've come to it with an attitude of, hey, I don't want you to read for me. And normally when that happens, I actually stop and I say to them, why are you here? You're paying for this experience.
Right.
And then they'll say, well, it's because I'm afraid of what you might say. And I went, well, I probably will say anything, but yeah, that's when I also double explain to them that you take everything with a grain of salt.
Of course.
You know, it's not written in stone for you to carry it away. And sometimes I've actually said to people, you know what? Why don't you go to someone else? And I normally, if I've read for 15 minutes, I'll take some money and give them back the rest. And other times I just give them back their money.
Wow.
It's like, why bother?
Well, exactly.
Because it is truly a waste of time. If you're coming to me, you've got to come with an open mind.
Right. So it's an attitudinal thing.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So if I'm coming to you with a bad attitude, that's kind of closing me off.
Totally closed. And I don't allow people to sit with their arms crossed, their legs crossed. They have to be open.
Oh, okay.
And you're more than welcome to drink as long as you've got someone to drive you home.
Okay. Yeah.
Because sometimes when people drink, they relax.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah.
And I don't encourage drinking, but I mean, if I'm at a house party and you're doing I'm doing a reading and that's what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah. So when someone says to you, I thought that was very interesting, they're afraid of what you might say.
Yep.
As you say, why would they come to you? But it's like they're drawn to it, but they're afraid of it. That's kind of an interesting conundrum.
It's a little of everything because some people want to trick me. They want to see if I can find things.
Yeah.
Other people are just curiosity killed the cat.
Okay.
And then the next person is so desperate to hear from someone that blocks it.
Oh, their desperation blocks them from being open to you.
Yes.
Oh, that's sad because that's what they want, is be able to be open to you.
That's just it. So when they're that desperate, it makes it really hard. So then I have to talk to them for a few minutes. And like, I'll talk about anything. I'll talk about the color of the sky, the roses I just gave to a friend, something like that.
Right.
So that it opens it up. So they're not as afraid to hear what I need to say.
Right. Because you're distracting them a little bit.
Yes.
Are there times when you're talking to someone and you think, I do not want to tell them what I know?
Oh, no. I actually ask people ahead of time, is there anything you don't want me to say? And so if people say, I don't want to hear about death or how old I'm going to be, or if any member of my family is going to die, I'll say, okay. I said, but if I do hear it, I'll have to say it in such a way that you get at least a pre-warning.
Okay.
And they're okay with that. Okay. So I've only had 2 people, I think, in all the time I've done readings that said, I don't want to hear anything bad.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's like, okay, I'll find a colorful, and I say this to myself, I'll find a colorful way to say it so it doesn't look bad, but at least they've got the warning.
So what kind of thing would you say? Avoid, eating hamburgers because you could die of a heart attack?
No. Don't eat the green stuff in the blue bowl because you might end up in the bathroom all night.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's a nice way of saying it, but the heart attack ones, if I do see that, I'm going to say, you know what? You really do need to go for a checkup, or your dad needs to go, or your mom or your sister. You need to go.
Right. So you do.
I do it, but I do it nicely. Normally, and my friends actually were talking about this weekend, because I have two other psychic friends, and we got together to do a celebration for one of them. And of course, they always get me to do a reading, and I'm doing a reading. And out of my mouth comes something, and my friends start to laugh, and they go, "Do you actually do this to your clients?" And I went, "Yeah." He said, "That's why they pay me." And they go, "You're horrible." But they're laughing all the way through it.
Right, right. Well, when you have friends who are psychics, do you ask them about yourself?
They'll do a reading for me if I want it. Most of the time I don't. But this weekend I felt like I just needed a little advice after a few little accidents this week. And I thought, let's see if things are improving.
Oh, okay. Okay. So would your advice be to someone who was not blocking you because they're just being stupid and trying to, as you say, trick you, but because they dearly want to have your advice, but are fearful of what your advice would be? What would you say to them?
I actually
help
asked them, "Why are you here? Why did you come?"
Good question.
And the one guy said to me, "Well, my wife and daughter really wanted me to have the reading." And I said, "But did you want it?"
Right.
He goes, "Yes and no. I want to hear about my mom." And I just spent 20 minutes talking about his mom and details. And
Wow.
he still felt the details weren't sufficient enough. It's like,
you can never make them happy.
and you can't.
Yeah.
But one thing I do learn, or have learned, is that if people are going to ask me a question, I always say to them, you're going to get good, bad, and ugly. If I give you the information, respect the source it's coming from. And I don't mean myself, but God, because that's what I believe. Respect this source. Don't be rude to them.
Okay.
Because when you're rude, it reflects. So, yeah.
Good advice for life in general.
Yep.
How to deal with other people. Be respectful. Okay. Well, thanks so much. It was really a pleasure, as always, talking to you. Appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Talk again.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.